Hello and welcome to my channel. This is Elena Drinks Beer. Hi guys, that felt weird. It's beer time. Okay, it's been a while since we've been in the closet. There's a bug in here. I promised myself I was gonna do one take, but then the bug happened and then vomit happened in my mouth. Not literal vomit, word vomit. Today I'm going to be reviewing for you two beers, and then we're just gonna like chit chat a little bit because it's almost my birthday. I'm feeling very reflective. Ooh, that was a good one. So the two beers that I'm going to review tonight are the Beerworks Sour Cherry Einhorn, which I'm about halfway through, which is fine because it's only 3.5% ABV. It's a tart wheat beer. However, last year I'm 99.9% sure it was called Berliner Weisse on the can, and I'm gonna fact check myself and write it in the description if I was wrong, or maybe you'll just see me pop in. Yeah, I was right. Video link above. It's what introduced me to the whole style of beer, kind of in general. I think it was one of the first of that style that I had, which it's gone on to be one of my favorite styles. It's just such a pleasant sour beer experience almost always. They are lower in ABV, which, you know what, a lot of the pussy boys at work, yikes, can I say that? We're complaining that this beer is only 3.5%, which I get the complaint. Like, sometimes you want your bang for your buck, you want to just have something that's like 8% and get hammered, and I get that, but I also think it's okay to just enjoy a lower ABV beer. Maybe I'll just bleep it. So before I go super in-depth on what I think about this beer, I do want to just briefly talk about how sour beer is made, and we're gonna seriously be so surface level because I feel like I'm very bad at explaining the process by which beer is made. Basically, to make beer, you have your cereal grains used, that's kind of what starts it, and then, you know, you boil them, you do some other stuff, you know, mash them, whatever, you get the wort, you add in yeast. Yeast is what causes the beer to ferment, and all of this in modern society is very rigidly controlled, it's very sanitary, it's very nice, but that was not always the case. So many years ago, before we knew that germs existed, beer was made with wild yeast. It wasn't the yeast that we use today, or it was a less controlled version of what we use today. So this wild yeast would often be accompanied by bacteria because we weren't aware that bacteria existed. Beer would probably have been naturally fairly sour in flavor back then because the bacteria is what makes the beer sour. So to make these sour beers today, a controlled amount of bacteria is added. Think like if you've made kombucha at home, the SCOBY portion is a yeast bacteria kind of mix, and that's what causes your kombucha to ferment, albeit very lightly compared to beer. After that little history lesson, I wanted to talk about what I think about this beer. Jesus. Really belching. I would say it's highly carbonated. I like this one well enough. I would say, so a while ago a friend got me some Belgian beers, and cherry was a very prominent flavor in those kind of sour beers, but you know, Rodenbach has been making beer since like the 1500s. Beerworks has been around not that long, so I kind of forgive them for not really punching me in the face with cherry. Not that those Rodenbachs really punched me in the face, it's just that the cherry that was there was so fully embodied in the beer. This is light cherry, light on the flavor. Maybe not my favorite of the Einhorns that I've had, but I still enjoy it. I still think it's fun. Like I said, it's pretty carbonated, which is always a turn on for me. Next, I'm going to try this one, which I have had a sip of. A warm sip at work is not the same as a full can experience. This is the Martin House Brewing Gum Eyes Lactose Sour. This one's 5.2% ABV. I liked the small sample that I had, so I'm very excited to try a fully chilled, fully relaxing version of this beer. It's wild. Like, I don't know why this should be good, but it smells truly delicious. It is so good, and it is very smooth, I would say. Unlike the Einhorn, which doesn't have lactose added and is extremely carbonated, this one is much more tempered, much smoother in the mouth. One interesting thing with this is when I did try it at work, my manager Ian brought me a small sample cup of it, and I asked him what it was, and he said,
"Try it, I'm not gonna tell you what it is."
My brain immediately went to watermelon, which is interesting because I felt kind of dumb, one, that I didn't figure out that it was bubblegum, because bubblegum is such a distinct flavor, but I think in my mind, watermelon and bubblegum are both flavors that I don't particularly care for, and they both have something in common, like, to me, and it was sour enough, so I said watermelon lemonade, and I don't feel like that is the craziest guess in the world. I think I could have been way more wrong than that, but yeah, I was wrong. And it's bubblegum, and it's good. If you live in Texas or anywhere where Martin House is sold, I don't know their scope, I would imagine it's not that large, but maybe, you know, the surrounding flyover states, try it. It's good. It's honestly one of the better sours I've had from Martin House in a long, long time. I have 2 more in my fridge, which will probably constitute another video. Constitute?